Well, already the crops are rotting in the fields in California. In Kern County, California, the largest agricultural county in the largest agricultural state in the country, immigrants are terrified to go to work since a series of Border Patrol raids have been going around and rounding up anyone even remotely suspected of being a farm worker.
This was never about criminals. This was about him and his agenda and what he wanted to do. And now we have citizens at risk. The National Guard has been deployed in California, in LA, 2,000 of them. Why? Because he thinks that there's criminal activity going on. No, you are ripping people from their families.
Hello brothers and sisters, I really hope you're all doing fine from wherever you're watching me from now. Most white farmers and white MAGA supporters are now crying out to the world for help. Now, most of them voted for deportation. They voted for others to be taken out, for the undocumented immigrants to be kicked out. Now, this is directly affecting their farms. It is affecting their labor patterns, and most of them are making losses. Their businesses are now collapsing. They are now asking the whole world to come and help them fight whatever they voted for. So let's watch this, then have a quick discussion at the end of it.
California's citrus harvest is in trouble. There just aren't enough workers. Farmers across the state are struggling because immigration crackdowns have scared off much of the workforce. In some areas, harvest crews have dropped from 30 workers to just 5. That means fruit is sitting unpicked, and experts warn this could lead to higher food prices. California agriculture relies on over 55,000 migrant workers. So what happens if labor shortages continue?
Meaning anyone who looks Hispanic. By the way, in a county that is 56% Hispanic. This is the county that grows all of our fruits, all of our grapes for wine, nuts, almonds for almond milk, you name it. And there is no one to work the fields, and immigrants are now staying home, leaving the fields to go untended. If you thought food was too expensive, wait until you realize who grows our food. What on earth is wrong with Republicans? They're saying that 75% of immigrants have been staying home since these raids, terrified to go to work growing the food that we eat. Please share your thoughts, and don't forget to follow me on YouTube.
Oh, soybean farmers in America are finding out. Donald Trump recently asked China to quadruple their purchasing of American soybeans. Donald, since the initial trade war you started, China started buying all their soybeans from Brazil and Argentina. All thanks to you. And now with their inputs going up and their exports going down, the American farmer can't survive. With small farm bankruptcies being at a 5-year high since the last Trump administration, nationwide farmers voted for Donald Trump at almost an 80% clip. Because even though Donald Trump ruined them last go around, he gave out the welfare queens their farmer subsidy that they needed. You know, welfare for me, the farmer, but not for thee, the citizen in America. With no talk of a subsidy on the horizon, their immigrant labor gone, the farmer having to pay more for the fertilizer they import and then the farming equipment they get from other countries. And now those other countries not buying their grain, their wheat, their soybean because of Donald Trump's tariffs that have made reciprocal ones in the countries that they're selling their agriculture to. And don't worry, farmers. I mean, these private equity firms can't wait to own your farm at the rock bottom prices they're going to be able to buy them for. I wonder if Blackstone will just incorporate the entire state of Nebraska. Your racism got you. Your hatred towards a system that does nothing but help you out and deliver for you in every way. But you wanted to take that away from other people, didn't you, farmers? You want everybody else to pull themselves up by your bootstraps, while the government makes you a welfare queen year after year. And the farmers are finding out.
Hey there, MAGA regret. It is really, really happening. And I grew up in rural Iowa, just 1 hour away from Omaha, Nebraska. Both of my children live in Nebraska. Most of my family are in Nebraska right now. And so this is a really big deal for me. But you guys voted for this. And I don't want to go through the whole thing that everybody else is doing. What I want to talk about is decency. So when I grew up, And probably the same thing for boomers. If you broke something, you made up for it. So say you go borrow your neighbor's ladder and it breaks. You go buy them a new ladder, your wife bakes them a cake or a pie, and you express your sorry several times, and you feel bad. So now your vote, because you did not pay attention the last time or read Project 2025 or anything to point you in the right direction and show you what exactly was going to happen, this is the vote that you made. And so I see many of you coming on here crying fake little tears, but I have zero sympathy for you, because what are you actually doing now? Are you protesting in any way? What are you doing besides trying to get other people to feel bad for you? It's going to require action, and it's going to require you to really go out and mobilize and make a difference now, because you are the one who did the thing. It was you. You made the vote. It's affecting you now, just like it affects the rest of us. So what are you going to do? I'm really anxious to hear what you're going to do to make up for it. We are not the ones that did this. So again, how are you going to make it right? The people in the Midwest it's very, very important to make up for your wrong. So what are you doing to make up for your wrong? Write it down. What action, what mobilization are you doing? This is really the only answer now. I don't want to hear any more tears or any more bullshit. What are you doing? Thank you.
You are causing so much chaos in all parts. People that are trying to do it the right way. People that are trying to do it the right way. For those of you out there that voted for him, and the people that voted for him that are now having family members ripped from their houses, how do you feel? What do you think of this? This is not right. There are criminals out there. There are gang members out there, but that's not what he's doing. That's not what he's doing. That's not what his people are doing. That's not why there's a budget bonus of $40,000 per ICE agent. This is horrifying. This is tragic. This is scary. If you're in the LA area right now, I know you want to be out there and I know you want to protest, but be safe. Be safe, because the lawlessness is on the other side. The lawlessness is in our government. The lawlessness is in all of the things they're doing to violate the Constitution, to hurt the people of the United States. And in a lot of cases, these are people that have blood, sweat, and tears literally making this country what it is. And he's going after them. Why? Where was the National Guard when truckloads of U-Hauls emptied out? White supremacists. Where was the National Guard then? People are terrified. And you've got Trump and Leavitt just sitting there, acting like they know what's going on, acting like they know what they're doing. This is not a democracy. It is not. This is not contributing to anything good for our country at all. This is pure chaos and pure terror, and it has to stop.
The lack of immigrants in the Central Valley of California and Western Arizona is starting to be felt, with farmers there saying that 70 to 80% of their crops are likely to die in the fields. They won't go picked. One farm superintendent said normally he has 300 workers a day, and today he could barely find 50. Another that normally employs 70 a day could barely find 17 today. And these farmers are directly tying this to Donald Trump's immigration policies, saying that the workers that do show up are less productive than ever because they're worried about ICE raids at any given time. And the majority of the workers just don't even bother to show up. They haven't left the country. They're just hiding, because when they leave their homes, they're arrested and they're detained by individuals claiming to be ICE who may or may not be. And a lot of them say it's not worth the risk to just disappear because that's what they've seen. Their family members and their friends have just gone to work one day and disappeared, never to be heard from again. Some are showing up months later in countries that they're not from, they have no affiliation with, and they've never been to. But others have been missing for months, and nobody knows where they are.
Several times this year, and for many, many, many years here at Ring of Fire, I have told you the story. I believe it took place in either 2012 or 2013 in the state of Georgia. And this was a story actually brought to my attention by attorney Howard Nations, back when we were hosting, Ring of Fire on Free Speech TV. He would come on every week with us. And here's what happened. In the state of Georgia, again, it was either 2012 or 2013, they passed very strict laws reducing the amount of migrant workers they were going to allow in the state and basically cutting the visa program. And so what happened was that year, when this went into effect in Georgia, the farmers didn't have employees. Agriculture community collapsed. Economy of Georgia suffered tremendously in ways that took years and years to finally get back on. And of course, there were shortages of foods. All because, as the farmers told us, the crops are rotting in the field. I don't have workers. Georgians aren't willing to do these jobs. I've tried, and they're not letting me bring in the migrants that I bring in every year. So we got nothing. We lose hundreds of thousands of dollars per farmer, and you lose food and revenue, and the workers aren't obviously making money. So Georgia immediately was like, all right, screw this. We messed up. We're going back to the way things were. And again, took years, but they finally got back to where they should be. Well, history does like to repeat itself, doesn't it? Because reports came out this week. Media outlets went out and talked to farmers across the country, not just Georgia. And you know what those farmers told us? My crops are rotting in the fields because I have no one willing to do the work. Willing, of course, being the key word. And the reason is simple, these farmers tell us. The farmers who, by the way, overwhelmingly voted for Donald Trump. So, little bit of, you voted for this, you idiot. But, and yeah, I'm going to call them idiots because he said he was going to do it. He did it. And now you're like, oh, woe is me. I'm getting exactly what he told me I was going to get. So, yeah, either way. I have no empathy for these people anymore. I just really don't. I'm sorry. Maybe that makes me a bad person, but getting exactly what you voted for, I don't know, kind of feel like, yeah, you should get that. But anyway, I digress. So the farmers tell us we don't have migrants coming in. You know, we basically hire the same group of people every single year for the picking season. We know them all by name. We have dealt with them for years and years and years. They come back to our farm every year. They're not here this year. They didn't come. And these farmers say only about half of the usual workers who come over did end up coming over, which is still not enough. And they said, we have crops rotting in the fields. The fruit is rotting on the trees. The vegetables are rotting in the soil because there's not enough people to do the work. And they said explicitly it's because either ICE has already deported some of these people when they were working on other farms, or two, they don't want to come over here because they know if they do.
You really want to know?
Yeah.
The answer is, you motherfucker!
How is this helping anybody? I'd really like to know. Because of the ice raids in California, crops are rotting, farms are at risk, fruit and vegetable prices are going to go sky high. How does this help anyone? Farmers are barely making it as it is, and most Americans don't want to do this kind of work. They've proven that. It's not like people from Mexico are taking our jobs. This is going to create so many problems in the food industry with supply chains, with pricing, and people are being deported cruelly.
So if you live in the United States, we know that the price of fruits and vegetables that are grown outside of the United States is now going up in price, going up substantially, and we know that's because of tariffs. But what you might not know is that your domestic fruits and vegetables are also going up in price as well. And the reason for this is that the farm hands that are usually hired to pick these fruits and vegetables are being detained by ICE agents. so much to the fact that you literally have crops rotting in the fields right now, it's quite distressing really to see this. There's currently 1.4 million jobs open in the U.S. farming industry. Most of these jobs were actually provided by undocumented workers or foreign-born workers. So I've done a little study on it, and I've done a little bit of research. Compared to this time last year, cherries in the United States are up 11%, apples are up 9%, and grapes are up 23%. The source for this, folks, is MSNBC and CNN. My name is Nick. Let me know what you think about this in the comments.
So by now we've all heard that Nebraska is going to go bankrupt in about 2 months, 60 days, give or take. And Nebraska was a state that voted overwhelmingly for that guy. And now they're all crying and screaming because their workforce is gone. All the immigrants that were there doing whatever they did for them, gone. All these people jumping on TikTok, all over social media, complaining about how they're about to lose their farms because they don't have anybody to work the farms. My thing is, like, when the man told you he was going to deport the immigrants and y'all still voted for him, did you think he was joking? Because his hatred for immigrants and people of color and anybody who's not a wealthy white man was the first clue that the rest of us got that he was going to do what the hell he said he was going to do. Let's be real about it. He tried it and got blocked in 2016 because at that time there were people in places in the administration that prevented him from doing that. Well, now he done got rid of all those people who would have stopped him from doing this craziness. So all that's left are the people like them, like y'all, who voted for this, who agree with the shit. I'm having a hard time understanding why we should care. Why those of us who didn't fuck around but are also finding out, why are we supposed to care? Why are we supposed to be like, oh, you are sorry and you regret your vote because you're about to lose your family farm and God knows what else? We all got drama that we got to deal with and live through. There are a lot of people worried every day about losing their jobs. People who have jobs that are 100% federally funded, who are worried every day that they get up if that's going to be the day that they go to work and they tell them, oh, we're done. You don't need to come back. So why should we care about you when we all got to be out here worried about our own self? So all I'm saying is the fuck around and find out is real for all of us. But for those of y'all that voted for this shit, y'all need to eat it. I wanted to say something else, but I don't know if children might see this video, but you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I don't think we give a shit. You know, concepts of thoughts, because y'all damn sure don't deserve our prayers. Good night.
So I was on YouTube and I came across this video claiming that white farmers are outraged that black people do not want to work on their farms. And I thought it was fake because I was like, this has to be like clickbait or whatever. So I searched and I came across Facebook, and y'all, the comments were wild. I still wasn't sure if it was real, so I tried to go to the staffing agency's website, and y'all, apparently so many people went to their website that the website crashed. So I figured, okay, maybe this is actually real. So they're basically offering $11 an hour to pick blueberries, 9 to 10 hours a day, 7 days a week, from May to July in Louisiana heat. Now, I never heard of Laranger, so I decided to look it up real quick. So here's some info. And just so you know, my source is this website called places.us.com. So anyway, livability is a C-. Population is less than 6,000. Demographics is almost 91% white, followed by black, then Hispanic, then Indian, then Asian, and pretty much zero Hawaiian. I saw that they voted Republican in 2020, but it probably doesn't take a genius to guess how they voted in 2024. So that's just to give you a little info about the town. So anyway, back to what I was saying. So $11 an hour is what they're offering. Full time, 7 days a week, 9 to 10 hours a day. Now, according to salary.com, Louisiana's minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. So this is a bump. But let's be real. Now, for some people, they might say, oh, it's a job. Go work it. It's a job. But it's not a job, you know. It's more like a sentence. And then when you look at who they expect to take these jobs, you don't have to guess. It's a page straight out of history. Black folks, migrant workers, you know, the ones who are currently facing deportation right now. Vulnerable communities getting used for back-breaking labor for pennies. But people are saying this is what they voted for. So what do you think? Is it FAO season or what?
Happy Workers' Day, everybody. So here on the 1st of May, I want to say this. I'm sick and tired, frankly, of walking into a restaurant or going to a counter at the airport, or in fact going anywhere which has a public-facing department of public-facing people, and never seeing white people in those departments, in those positions, be it at a bank, be it at an airport, be it at a public government department, never seeing white people in those positions. I'm sick and tired of that after 31 years of black rule here in South Africa. So here on the 1st of May, Workers' Day, I would like to appeal to all of those businesses to make sure that at least a quarter of the people who work in their restaurants as waiters and as chefs and as cooks and as cleaner-uppers are in fact white people. There are more than enough white people in this country to occupy those positions. In Pretoria alone, there are 90 squatter camps, white squatter camps around Pretoria. So it's about time that we actually drop the bullshit and start looking at an Ubuntu kind of approach to how we employ people in this country and how we deploy people in this country. It's not good enough to have white bookkeepers and maybe even white managers, but at your front-facing departments of your business to be exclusively black. We have to put a stop to that 31 years after black rule here in South Africa. On Workers' Day, that's my message.
Family owned, over 4,000 acres of tomato farm across Florida and California. Yep. Sadly, his crops aren't looking too good. All those tomatoes rotting, you know. Nobody's there to pick the crops. And with Trump tariffs, well, they ain't got nothing left to do, y'all, but to mow that shit down. He got to mow all that shit down. Yep. Ain't got nobody there to pick them goddamn crops. Do I feel bad? No. Because that's what he voted for. He voted for Trump. A Trumper. All that shit wasted. All those goddamn tomatoes gone to garbage. They wasted. All because of that vote for Trump.
Hello, brothers and sisters. Now, in most cases, I've always argued out that we've become the enemy of ourselves, that we are always fighting each other more than the politicians are fighting us. Some of the people have always gone ahead to vote in patterns which directly affect those who they don't like. In most cases, people have practiced, or people have actually been doing whatever is called identity politics, that you vote because of your color, you vote because of religion, and you vote because you want to punish someone else, and not voting to impact your country and bring a change, but to vote just in order to harm the other person. Now, there has been a growing concern over the last few years, and in the last 2 months, 3, 4, 5, there has been a lot of tension in the US because many black Americans remain relatively silent amid growing tensions in the US after Donald Trump was elected. There has been tariffs, war on tariffs. Many white farmers are not doing well in their farms because the tariffs are also affecting them. Deportations of undocumented immigrants has always affected the people in the US. The labor patterns are going down, and we have the market shifts right now because, as you all know, that China is now benefiting and some other world powers in the ongoing tensions and tariff wars. Now, the US has been disadvantaged and the people are facing the consequences. Mostly those who voted for the same government are now crying out because of failing systems after Donald Trump's victory. Now, in the context of MAGA supporters loudly complaining, we should understand that most of them went to vote for a legacy and for a legacy that they have always carried, that they are the superpowers, and that there is some supremacy which comes with it. And as much as I know and as much as we can talk about this, we must remember that for very strange reason, we have had a legacy of disenfranchisement and mistrust between the white community, between the black community, which has always been affecting businesses. And in most cases, we've been seeing black Americans having long faced a systematic discrimination in politics, in law enforcement, and the economy. Now, most people thought that because this has been happening for years, it will continue happening, and that they are going to be affected if an election went otherwise, and someone was actually elected instead of the other one. Now, because of this history, we must remember that many in the black community often view government struggles. These include tariffs, deportations, economic crisis, as nothing new because they have been going through this for a very long time. And I did share a video where a white lady was talking to her own people, saying that the tariff wars that are happening right now, that we are seeing the margin profits reducing adversely, that all these things happening at the moment, they're not going to affect the black market because they are used to these things. They are used to the market trends and the hardship it brings about, And for this reason, MAGA supporters are now being shocked by this because these people are hardened already and they expect the worst out of any system because they know all these systems that have been put in place have always been against them. And for this one reason, there's still silence, and the silence can stem from cynicism, And if the system never fully worked for them, why complain loudly at this moment when it is not yet also working for them? Because when has the system ever worked for them? No. Like, the system has always, in one way or the other, been against them, and they have always faced several things, the cries, and systematic racism, police brutality, harassment. And if someone has faced discrimination in politics, discrimination in the economy, and discrimination even in the law enforcement units, what do you expect of them? Cry over tariffs? Cry over deportations? No. These are hardened people, and they are even expecting the worst because they have always seen that. Now, most people are being pissed off because these same people who are being voted maybe in one way or the other to be disadvantaged by the same system are now not even crying. They are not even talking loudly about it. And people are wondering, like, what's not happening in this case? So these are the things that we need to address most of the times in the market trends and how the economy is doing in the broader way. Now, most people are now very upset with the black community because deportations don't directly target them. Not deportations have always directly targeted the black community. That's the belief of many people. And they did vote for MAGA because when the orange man was talking about deportations, they thought it was never going to affect them because deportations don't directly affect them. But they are now shocked that while black Americans can emphasize with immigrant struggles, forced deportations are not an issue that primarily affect them at the moment, because if you want to deport them, where are you going to deport them to? Are you going to take them to El Salvador? Are you going to take them to all these other countries that have seen deportees being taken to? Where are you going to take them to? Because these people have been here for 400 years. And as we talk of this, we must consider very, very vital key points. Now, MAGA supporters who once celebrated ICE breakdowns and crackdowns are now seeing the ripple effects of the same, because most of the undocumented immigrants who are being affected by the same, or those who ICE team are coming after, are the same who used to work in their farms. Now, you must know that when labor patterns reduce and when really they go down, and the economics of this explains that when labor patterns go down, production goes down, everything goes down. And when everything goes down, now you don't expect profits anymore. You now start counting your losses in premium tiers. And this is whatever is happening to most MAGA supporters and white farmers. Those who voted to see people being deported, the same people are now crying out so loud that we wish we knew that we are having strained communities, we are having business losses, we are running out of our labor. Why can't you come and help us pick blueberries? Why can't you help us come pick cotton? Why can't you help us do this and do that? And I even saw someone mocking the black community that furthermore, picking cotton is not that hard. Having picked cotton for 400 years, I feel like he was saying that he feels like the black community did relax a lot for 400 years. If we work with the same mentality, then I assure you, we are not going to do anything very important with ourselves. The unity of the human race is very, very important. As much as we say the many black Americans remain silent, now it is because they have been facing this crisis. But for one reason, people thought talking about illegal immigrants or undocumented immigrants or the aliens, whatever name you want to call them, that it was going to affect the black community. They never imagined, because these people have been here for 400 years, they can be deported. Where are you deporting them to? I even share a video of where many of the white farmers were arguing out that Donald Trump should act swiftly and deport even those, those black people who are not well documented. But I saw he received an immediate backlash because people were asking, why do you deport them to? Now, watching white America test its own medicine is one of the best things that the internet is witnessing at the moment, because in most cases, black Americans have endured mass incarceration, housing discrimination, and broken families due to policies they didn't vote for. Now, seeing white MAGA supporters now suffer under Trump's tariff, farm struggles, or deportation can lead to silent attitude of welcome to our reality. That's whatever is happening. Most people have never associated or have never felt the pain the black community has felt for this long. And when this happens, that they are now crying out because of voting, they voted, they're crying out because whatever they voted for has backlashed on themselves, and they're now calling out the black community to come help them. They are calling out, they can't keep quiet because they are used to some privileges. And when these privileges are taken away from them, they are not used to that. So there will be a resistance to that. They'll try to resist. They'll try to cry out to the whole world to say, do you know what happens when you're not used to pain, but you're used to inflicting pain to others? Now, when the same is reversed to you, now you feel multiple pain the person has been feeling, and for that reason, you think it is something new and you want the attention of everyone at the moment. The world is watching, and people are now so furious in that if they voted for this, why are they crying out? Now they say you must have a taste of your own medicine. If you buy it, you must take it. They say that which kills you is that which you likes the more. If you want yourselves unalived, the thing you love doing most, if it's your job, that's whatever will drain your life down the tunnel. If you loved politics and you loved this man, well, sit down, have some coffee, and wait, let him finish, and then judge him later. Maybe there are some miracles that are going to happen. In fact, some of those who voted are very happy with the policies, and they're not crying. In fact, they're praising how the man is working and everything. How I wish that could be happening to everyone, because it's very sad to see someone today campaigning, very happy, mocking the other side. The next day you are crying, asking for help. It's very sad. Thank you so much. See you in our next episode.